Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to Doing Business in Bentonville. I'm Andy Wilson. I'm the executive director, and I'm so excited that we're back today. You know, it's been last week since we chatted together, and I want to also say thank you to all of our viewers and listeners, because without you, we would not have a podcast, and your commitment is so powerful. So thank you. Okay, I've got a great guest today. Nelson Peacock, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
This is going to be one of the most exciting conversations I've had in a while. You know, normally we're talking AI, we're talking retail, we're talking all the stuff that's very important to what we do in our lives. But today we're going to get to focus on one of my favorite topics is Northwest Arkansas. Yeah. I guess because I live here. I love it. I've been here over 30 years and it's so wonderful. And Nelson is the president and CEO of the Northwest Arkansas Council. What is that?
That's right. Well, the Northwest Arkansas Council is a regional nonprofit. It's actually founded by Sam Walton, Don Tyson, and J.B. Hunt back in the early 90s. And they had a simple premise. The premise is we needed our businesses and our elected officials and civic leaders to work together to create an environment where our businesses could grow and thrive. So they set out and identified three key things that needed to happen for Northwest Arkansas to be a more robust place for their businesses. One was the regional airport, or now the national airport that probably many people fly into when they come here.
Right.
Getting internet access to interstate highway access to I-40. There was we weren't connected via interstate not too long ago, and then a 4-lane road from Springdale to Siloam Springs. And so all of those projects came online between 96 and 98. And that is when kind of the growth trajectory and everything really took off for Northwest Arkansas. And we have grown and shaped ourselves as those businesses have grown and shaped themselves into what they are today. And so we have those three key businesses, and also the University of Arkansas Chancellor is on our board. And, you know, that's grown to around 34,000 students, R1 Research University here in Northwest Arkansas as well.
Well, I am glad 36 years ago, those leaders sat down and said, we have to have a vision.
That's right.
And we have to have a way forward. And it's because we moved here around 30 years ago.
Yeah.
And so prior to that, I was with Walmart. We were back and forth. And you're right. Exactly. Those things you talked about, it happened.
Yeah.
And it worked.
That's right.
It's working well today.
That's right.
And what we're going to do is we're going to go forward a bit, and we're going to get to talk to Nelson about many things here that I think you're going to be so interested in, even if you don't live here, but come here to visit. I think you're going to be so excited to hear the vision that Nelson and his team has put together for the next 25 years, and we'll talk about that. So I'm so excited again. But before we get into that, we need to talk about you for a moment, okay? So what brought you back to Arkansas?
Well, I was born and raised here.
Yeah.
I went to school in Fayetteville. I was born in Fayetteville. My dad was in law school at the time. We grew up in the Delta, small town near Memphis, Tennessee, actually right next to a rice farm. And anyway, I came back to school in Fayetteville and law school. And, you know, it was a far different place back then. I left in 1998. And ended up in Washington, D.C., had a calling for public service. Mm-hmm. At least I didn't know what my calling was, but I wanted to go up there and have a good time and get a job. And I ultimately did that and made my way into some politics, worked in the Obama administration and Senate Judiciary Committee and a few other things. Then during the course of that, I met Janet Napolitano. She was the governor of Arizona. Mm-hmm. And became Homeland Security Secretary. Mm-hmm. And so I worked for her for 5 years in Homeland Security, overseeing the government relations for that cabinet agency. Mm-hmm. She ultimately got the job as the president of the University of California system and asked me to come to Oakland with her to oversee that effort. So I was there for about 5 years. And this job, the Northwest Arkansas Council CEO job, opened up. I had a friend from here, since I went to school here, said, if you ever want to come home, this is the job for you. So I went through the interview process, and my wife, who's from California, was like, yeah, just go have fun, see your friends, enjoy the interview. And then when I told her that I wanted to take the job, I think she was a little shocked. But we made the move about 7 years ago, and it's been really great. And I think I've been able to add a little bit of political background, a little bit of public relations, a little bit of marketing, all to help try to move Northwest Arkansas forward. And we just get so much support from our members, our companies, the general public, and it's just really been a blessing to be in a place where you can affect change.
Right.
A lot of these other organizations I've been at they're so big. It's it's like moving the battleship or steering the battleship. Here we're headed towards that, but there's still enough the ability to make an impact, and so that's what I really found enjoyable.
Wonderful. So you've been back 9 years or so?
8 or 9.
Okay.
It goes by fast.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay, good. Well, great. Well, welcome back. I'm glad you came back, and I hope your wife's enjoying Northwest.
She is.
This is great. That's a great story. It really is. Okay, now, Nelson, we live in a unbelievable area, don't we? As people know, we have Walmart and Tyson and J.B. Hunt, and then the University of Arkansas, as we call the Big Four around here, but so many other wonderful opportunities here.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's amazing that, supplier community, hundreds are here, so many other private businesses. And one of the things I know that you're passionate about is, and when I was reading your path forward and studying it, is that you talk about how important each of our cities are that make up. So talk about what that looks like, the cities that make up what we call Northwest Arkansas.
Yeah, so Northwest Arkansas, as we define it, is 2-county region, Benton and Washington counties, made up of 5 major cities, and now a lot of smaller towns that are becoming larger.
Yeah.
But Bentonville, obviously with Walmart headquartered here, Rogers, Lowell, J.B. Hunt is headquartered there, and then about Pinnacle area, where a lot of the suppliers communities relocating their local headquarters. Springdale has Tyson Foods, and the University of Arkansas in Fayetteville. And, it runs along the I-49 corridor. That's where the bulk of the population is growing. And, we're one of the fastest growing places in the country, as a lot of people know. But each town is really uniquely defined in a way, in large what measured by the demographics there, but also that major employer that has really shaped things and investing in their community. I know for folks that come to Bentonville, they can see the footprint that Walmart and the impact that Walmart has had, but you can see that across the region. Certainly if you go to downtown Springdale, and even if you go out to Siloam Springs, Simmons Foods out there, really an impact. And those companies really do a good job of giving back and really have a lot of pride in their hometown. And I think because they've grown up together in many ways, it's lent itself to that civic pride and reinvestment into the community.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, you're so right about that. It's exciting. Again, it's just an exciting and positive place to live and raise a family and do business.
Yeah.
You're so right. Okay. Now, one of the things we really want to spend our time on, and I know you're excited about this, and you're going to be announcing this, and it's what, as you look, we have opportunities ahead. By 2050, I think we're estimating to have about 1 million residents.
Yeah.
Is that still pretty close?
That's the projection. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So with that, then I know your team have spent a lot of time thinking about that, and that, what is your strategy for managing growth?
Yeah.
to this 2050 time frame. But yet, I know also you and your team is very, very focused on what makes Northwest Arkansas special.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that makes us unique here. The trails, the arts, the low-stress lifestyle, the community that you just talked about.
Yeah.
The companies giving back. All those things make up really our culture here.
Yeah.
So talk to us about the future.
Yeah. So when I look back, just 1 second looking backwards, when you look at the foundations of our organization and the growth of these companies and all the relocations of companies here, a secret sauce in that was quality of life. So we combined a great economy with quality of life, and that really created the flywheel for people to relocate here and everything. So a lot of what the council does through our economic development is focus on quality of life. And that's kind of where we've leaned into growth. We're one of the fastest growing places over the last 10 years, projected to be one of the fastest over the next 10 to 20 years. And over the course of this time, that's really always been 100% positive, right? It's been more things to do, more opportunities, more arts, more culture, more restaurants, all of the things that people love about Northwest Arkansas. But we are starting to get to a point where there are some negatives that are coming with growth. And that is people are used to low traffic. If you come from a major city, you might laugh about what we think is heavy traffic, but it is heavy according to a lot of the people that live here. Increased housing costs, those are coming up. We are, through growth and spreading out across the region, through mainly single-family housing developments, we are losing a lot of the green space that people love here and rural. This combination between, kind of city living and rural living has kind of coexisted really nicely over the last 20 years. There's starting to be a lot of pressures on those activities. And then just the infrastructure, seen and unseen costs that are going up around water, wastewater, things like that. So what the council felt our role that we could play was to help us figure out how we can do these things together. How can we invest together? Because the decision Springdale makes certainly impacts the cities around it, and vice versa. So what we decided to do was come together, bring everyone together, listen to the community, listen to our leaders, and try to establish a vision for Northwest Arkansas that can, as we double in population almost, can we preserve those things that we really love about it as we grow, as we increase opportunity for everyone. And so that's what this new vision, the growth strategy that we are putting out tries to do. And we do a few major things with that. And the major one is we want to anchor growth and regional character. We want to make sure that all of our cities have the tools and the knowledge to preserve what they love about their town. And I think doing that together, we'll be able to build a place where everyone can find their place, fit in, and then hopefully do it in a way that we reduce as much pressure as possible on our infrastructure. Let's keep it affordable. Let's keep it easy and manageable. That's what people love about this place, and that's what we need to maintain.
I love how you position that to anchor the growth of the regional character.
Yeah,
I think that's a great foundational piece, and how you talked about that. That's where we're really working together to make a stronger future, right?
Right.
And to your point, and I've not heard this, the way you said this is perfect as you look at our growth through this character lens. And that's your very first, I think, on your list of.
I think
that's powerful.
A lot of this gets implemented through plans and zoning and, bonds and infrastructure development. And I think that can get, if we focus on that, you could lose something along the way. So we wanted to zoom out, keep it high level, and make sure that we focus on what is important. What do people love about this place, and preserve that and build on that, even as we grow, as we bring newcomers in, as we invest in our infrastructure. You know, we need to preserve what makes this place special.
So you brought the mayors, the chambers, the business leaders, you brought them all together and you listened.
That's right.
And from that, you developed this path forward.
Yeah, and the people. We had a road show in September where we did dozens of town hall meetings and survey work, and so you know, a lot of these things we've been talking about individually. Yeah. Different cities have been redoing their development codes, and there's, you know, clearly a lot of investment in parks and outdoor recreation and bike trails. So this has all happened over the last 10, 20 years. We're trying to put a bow on it, really define it, what we've been doing, and then hopefully that establishes the vision for us.
Right, and that's your path forward. Just maintain those downtowns you talked about, those trail systems, that arts, that culture, all of that.
Yeah.
Not only maintain it, make it better.
Yeah.
And that's that is awesome.
Well, one of the interesting things that our consultants that helped us with this, you know, we went back and looked at, and I'm sure this is true across the country, but in Arkansas in particular, a lot of these town squares were established, you know, in the mid 1800s, and they are still the footprint of development today. And what we are proposing in here is a vision for a lot more squares and town centers across Northwest Arkansas. That way there can be pockets of gentle density, or we're never going to be, you know, huge downtown skyscraper kind of place, but we can have places where there are jobs and services that keeps people off the roads as much. Maybe they can walk to work.
Yeah.
Maybe they can, you know, have community in certain places that don't exist today. And by doing that, we can reduce the level of outward growth that pushes pressure on our rural landscapes and also the green space that people love. And if you do it right and you develop where there's already infrastructure, you don't have to rebuild new roads or infrastructure. And so you can do that in a more cost-sustainable way over time.
Wonderful. You know, I just read this morning about the Drake Farms development in Fayetteville, a 20-year plan.
Yeah.
And they said this. They said the article, which is exactly what you said.
Yeah.
You know, bringing people together, shopping, living, working.
Yeah.
All in one area.
Yeah. One of the things that we found that when we did our research here, and you look at other cities that have grown really rapidly, is people feel like they lost their community along the way. And I think a lot of that is that that they lose those gathering spaces because it's too hard to get to downtown or it's a hassle. And they're in their car, they're commuting a lot, and they just lost what they felt special about the place before. So how can we lean into that and preserve that?
I love that. I love that. Anchor growth in regional character, powerful. What's your next point, strategy?
Well, I think, you know, what we've put down is strengthen community resilience. And by that, we mean financially. Make sure that you understand when you make decisions, the fiscal impact of that. Because if you're always catching up to the infrastructure that you put in, when you build a road, it's a permanent liability. It's an asset right, for the community, but it's also a liability for the city or a wastewater line. Permanent, it's an asset, but a permanent liability. So be strategic in how you do that, because if you are, as a city or a county, is all of your money is going to maintain a road that you built 20 years ago, then you can't invest in the park. Maybe it pressures your investments in education, and the cycle of that just continues. And so what we're saying is be very strategic about how you grow. And that's one of the things I think that we'll be able to do is to quantify this, to have real research behind this, to show how these investments work and how they can pay off. And you'll see a little bit of that in the report, and also some of the strategies that will be coming out following that.
Wonderful.
And that's particularly true of some of those smaller towns that may not have a city planner.
Right.
or they may not have, they may not be prepared for the 2,000 home subdivision that the developer wants to develop. We need them to understand that they need to take a step back, have a vision for their community, and understand the fiscal implications of decisions they make.
Great. This your next strategy point that I'm excited about when I was learning about is that build housing for every stage of life.
Yeah.
Now that caught my attention. Maybe because of my age. And I'm 30 years ago I bought my house. So now I'm thinking about that.
Yeah.
So talk about that.
We started looking at housing prices, and when I got here, housing prices was the selling point. You could sell your place in California. You could come here and, get your McMansion and still have some money left over.
Yeah.
But as we've grown, as this place has become more desirable, obviously, that means the housing prices have gone up. So we did some research 4 years ago now, and we actually started a workforce housing program called Groundwork that is helping work on zoning and other things with our cities to make sure that you could build all the right types of businesses or housing for nurses, for firefighters. We want to make sure that they can live in the city where they serve.
School teachers.
That is, in the Bay Area, we knew this. A lot of our teachers had to commute 2 hours. And I just felt the loss of community by that. They weren't living in where their students lived. And so anyway, we don't want that to happen here. So we began to focus on that. And some of the analysis we did found that by and large, we're building single family homes spread out or apartments. There was very few duplexes or fourplexes. And, a lot of younger people just graduated college. Maybe they want an apartment, but maybe they want something between an apartment and a single family big house with a big yard. And so we need to have those options for them. A lot of them want to live in close to downtown. Well, we know that downtown housing is in demand. That's why it's going up so high in cost. So can we make more of it? Can we have more opportunities for people to live a walkable lifestyle in Northwest Arkansas? So that's one of the things that we want to do. And so as you kind of go up and then you have children, maybe you want your single family, you want the yard. And then as those children go to college, maybe you want to downscale. So you don't want to take that on. And what we found is there's less mobility here to make those decisions because there's less options for people. And so we want to have housing optionality so that people can move around and not be stuck in something that's not suitable for them. Because if you're just a 2-person household and you are, I guess, stuck, for lack of a better term, in a 4-bedroom home, now your children have left and you're paying all that extra cost for upkeep. If you want to move somewhere where there's a condo or there's less yard to deal with, those options should be open to you, and that'll create a more dynamic market and allow lower prices and more flexibility.
Oh, I think that's an excellent point. And you're right. As we grow, the demographic shifting, it's shifting. Young people coming in, wonderful.
This is a very young region and more and more very diverse. When the council was founded, this area was 95% white in 1990. We are now heading towards 33 underrepresented minority percent.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I love that diversity is happening in our area. It's really wonderful.
And diversity of people that aren't from here. Over 60%, maybe 65% are not from Arkansas.
I didn't realize it was that high there.
Yeah.
Well, it's and one of the things I tell people all the time is, they said when Northwest Arkansas is growing, I said yes, but I really think it's growing well. But what I'm learning and hearing from you is that your council is going to ensure that we grow well. It's what I'm hearing from you.
We're going to try.
Yeah, you got to work really hard.
Ultimately, this will be the decisions of our mayors, our city councilors, our court members. We're just a nonprofit, but we are outlining a vision with their input. And we hope that over time we're going to get the governance in place that we need. Right now, we have city by city governance. And if you look at other fast growing regions, we've really looked a lot at Utah and what they've done as they've grown rapidly. And we're going to need a council of governance to oversee a lot of these different things. We already have an MPO, which is statutorily required, works on housing and transit options. But we believe we need to turn that into a full council of governance that oversees water, wastewater, we know regional transit,
right,
including highways. And so that's something that we're going to try to be bringing people together to figure out that. And that'll be up to the mayor, that'll be up to the elected officials of what they believe will work that protects their interest and their constituents, but also respond to this broader need for regional governance.
Well, speaking of highways, that's your next point, right? So what do you want to talk about there?
Well, there's a few things there. One is the way we are growing. I think regional planning put out their Vision 2050 not long ago. We have $6 billion in needs for our highways over the next 20 years, and $3 billion in identified revenues. So we're going to have to find new ways to pay for new roads and maintain what we have. If you look at the roads that we have, I believe the analysis was it would stretch all the way to Fairbanks, Alaska. That is how much road we have to maintain. And that's just what we have right now. So we're going to need to find new revenues to help us along the way. We also need more connection points. Right now, if you want to take a trip of any significant length, you're driving to I-49, you're going north or south on I-49, you're getting off, then you're going east or west. So we need more routes so that not all that pressure is coming on to I-49. And there are plans in place right now to do that. RDOT, the Highway Department, has announced new 112, upgrades to 112. We have been working really closely and focused on getting the Springdale bypass done, an airport access road, and a lot of these things are coming online over the next year. But we're just getting started. There's going to be a lot more growth, a lot more need, and I think if you go back to the conversation that we were having, is can we grow and build in a way where there's already infrastructure in place? An example for people that are from here, but there's Highway 71, which was the north-south corridor before I-49 was built. Well, there's very little development on that road. Certainly no housing. And can we change our zoning rules? Can we focus on that as a priority because the road is already built? We don't have, and also the wastewater and water infrastructure is already built. We don't have to build that again. And so we're already paying to maintain that. So I think those are some of the ideas that you're going to see come forward from the council and to be worked on.
I think that's excellent. Yeah, I really do. I think that's using our resources wisely and going back. Because you're right, at 71, it's almost forgotten. It's not, but it was our way north and south for years and years. And now there's multiple ways. But I think you're right. The 71, and then you do 112. Both of those, you're studying and working on.
Yeah, and then RDOT. This was just in the papers the other day. RDOT is looking for another north-south connector out near the airport.
Right.
This won't be built for 10, 15 years. Minimum. But they're planning for that because we know that there are a lot of growth. No matter what we do, there's going to be a lot of growth that's pushing west.
Okay, you have shared 4 of these goals with us. Okay, let's talk about the next 2. These are really good.
The other thing that we learned is really about water. Right now, cities, by and large, handle their own wastewater efforts. That has led to some inefficiencies. Some cities have overcapacity. Others have very little capacity. We also know that water doesn't respond to jurisdictional boundaries. It flows downhill. No, it doesn't matter where the city line is. So we have to develop a better regional system for handling water. That's stormwater and wastewater. Right now, we have a regional drinking water system. And so we've been looking at a study with the state of Arkansas to help us establish a regional wastewater system. And that will be just the hard engineering of where it goes and how it's treated and all of that. But probably the more difficult part will be the regional governance and what's fair to ratepayers and what have they invested over time. Mm-hmm. How do we ensure fairness in the future in small towns versus large towns? Mm-hmm. Those conversations are taking place right now.
Right.
Through a partnership with the state, and ultimately this will become a part of the state water plan. Mm-hmm. And we think that's really important right now. Like I said, there's some building moratoriums in certain cities. I know Bentonville's faced a lot of pressures and doing a lot of investment in their wastewater system. How can we do that together?
Yeah, great.
Because really the bottom line, if we work together, can we be more efficient?
Right.
And I think the answer to that question is yes.
Good. Great. Wonderful. And your last one is lead together.
Yeah. We talked a little bit about regional governance.
Yeah.
All of our cities have their own character, their own goals, their own visions. But a lot of these areas, the things that need to happen are pretty similar. Mm-hmm. They have to make smart fiscal decisions. They want to preserve their character. They need to make sure they have a place where employers are going to want to relocate, and they need to have money left over to invest in what people care about, whether it's education or parks. Mm-hmm. And so I guess more importantly, before I move off that, the decisions that Bentonville makes impacts Rogers and Centerton.
Right.
The decisions that Rogers makes impact Springdale. Right. So we are all tied together in a way. And so we want to make sure there's some kind of regional governance that is overseeing all aspects of this, and where, elected leadership feels that they can be part of this regional system, but also represent the people that voted them into office.
I think that's wonderful. And I think your vision, what I'm calling your vision report, I think you have provided very clear direction to our community. And I want to say thank you on behalf of all of us here in our community. We appreciate the hard work you and the council, your team are doing on this. Thank you.
Oh, well, there's a lot of people to thank. But I appreciate that, all the leaders that have participated, the mayors, the county judges, the Walton Family Foundation has helped us with the funding to bring home really two great consultants, a DPC co-design and placemakers. They do this work all around the country, really helped us frame what this is going to look like. Mm-hmm. And, at the end of the day, our goal, and I know for your audience, is like, how can we continue to make this a great place for business? Mm-hmm. That happens if we really lean into continuing to build our quality of life. There are so many great things happening here. Mm-hmm. This vision, this report is intended to strengthen those and not let growth overwhelm us as it has done in so many other cities across the country. Mm.
Well, Nelson Peacock, I will tell you, it's been such a pleasure to visit with you this morning.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Oh, I'm so glad you're here. And I want you to know that you are welcome back anytime to talk about this great region. So anything we can do to help communicate your vision and what's going on and your council, you're welcome anytime.
Yeah, thank you. Before we go, I'll just make one plug for Growing Home NWA. That's where you can find this study and analysis. And then if you go to northwestarkansascouncil.org, you'll find all of our different work streams that we work on as well.
Great. Well, we want to get this out, and we'll make sure that we, when we publish this podcast, we'll make sure we have a link there with this so everyone can see it. And anything else we can do here doing business in Bentonville, you got my phone number. You call me. I also want to say to you, I want to appreciate your communication director, Nate. It was great to spend some time with him. Again, just a very qualified individual on your team.
Yeah, he's wonderful, and we try to keep him as busy as possible.
Well, he said he's pretty busy.
Yeah.
We got 20 minutes, and I was proud to get it.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, so to all of our viewers, thank you so much. Again, as I said at the top of the show, we appreciate you so much and what you do. And don't forget, you can message me on LinkedIn if you have any questions or thoughts or comments or things that you'd like us to focus on. You don't hesitate. And I'll also we have a live event coming up on April the 29th. We're going to talk about AI and people. So I will be broadcasting that. You can hear our panel talk about the future of AI and then how that integrates with the workforce, the people that's working. So you will want to tune into that. Will be a lot more information coming on that. Nelson, thank you again. It's been a pleasure, my friend.
Thank you.
Okay. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you, man.